She could see death before it came. At 7 years old, Morayo looked at her uncle and saw black smoke curling around his chest. 3 days later, he collapsed in the marketplace. His heart had stopped. No one taught her this. She simply saw. By 23, she had healed hundreds, women who couldn't bear children, men with diseases that had no name, children who screamed at things no one else could see. They called her a gift from the ancestors. But here's what nobody tells you about gifts. They can be stolen. And the man who would steal hers was already on his way. Before we go any further, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Morayo grew up in the hills of Ogun region, where morning mist wrapped the earth like a mother's embrace. Her grandmother, Mama Adoni, recognized the gift before anyone else. Every morning before school. Every evening after chores. The old woman taught her the language of roots, the songs that opened bodies to healing, the prayers that pulled medicine from the earth. Your hands will heal nations, Mama Adoni said one evening, holding Morayo's small palms to the firelight. Then her voice dropped. But remember this, child, the healer who forgets herself becomes the sickest of all. Morayo nodded, not understanding. She was only 12. How could she know those words would haunt her for the next 20 years? By 23, her fame had spread across 4 villages. People traveled hours just to sit before her. That fame reached a man in Lagos. A man with no shadows. No sickness. No darkness anywhere on his body. His name was Kofi Mensah. He came wrapped in charm and golden promises. And he wasn't coming to be healed. Kofi Mensah was not from her village. He was not even from her country. He came from Ghana, a wealthy exporter of cocoa and spices, with businesses stretching from Accra to London. Tall. Confident. With a voice so smooth it could convince water to flow uphill. He walked into her healing room one dry season, claiming he needed treatment for an old back injury. But Morayo saw nothing wrong with him. No shadows. No pain. No sickness anywhere. Why are you really here? She asked. Kofi laughed, a deep, warm sound. They said you were powerful. They didn't say you were clever. He leaned closer. I came to meet the woman everyone talks about. Something stirred in Morayo's chest. Not love. Not yet. Curiosity. And as the elders say, curiosity is the first step toward either wisdom or destruction. Kofi returned every day. He brought her fabrics from Kumasi, spices from Morocco, stories from places she had only imagined. He listened when she spoke about opening a healing center. He nodded when she shared her dreams. I would fund that dream, he whispered one evening under the mango tree, if you let me walk beside you. Her mother watched with worried eyes. I don't trust men with too many promises and not enough roots. Her father saw opportunity. This man has resources. Our daughter's gift deserves the world. But Mama Adoni said nothing until nightfall. She pulled Morayo aside, her old eyes sharp. When you look at him, what do you see? Nothing, Morayo admitted. No shadow. No darkness. Mama Adoni's face tightened. A man with no shadow is either a saint, or something far worse. Be careful what you mistake for light. But Morayo was 23. Ready for love. Ready for adventure. She said yes. And the cage began to close. The wedding was magnificent. Guests came from 7 countries. Morayo wore gold-threaded Kent cloth that shimmered like liquid sunlight. For one perfect day, she felt like the queen her mother always said she would become. Then Kofi moved her to Lagos. A penthouse in Victoria Island. Marble floors. Air conditioning humming through every room. More luxury than she had ever touched. But something was missing. her grandmother's herbs, her healing powders, her secret tools. All left behind. "We'll send for them later," Kofi said, waving his hand. "Rest. Enjoy your new life." Later became weeks. Weeks became months. Every time she asked, something came up: a business trip, a renovation, another empty promise. She tried finding herbs in Lagos markets. But the city's medicine was different. The roots wouldn't speak to her. The plants felt foreign, almost hostile. Plants felt foreign, almost hostile. Then she got pregnant. Surely the gift would return after the baby came. It didn't. When daughter Amara was born, Morayo tried healing a neighbor's sick child. She placed her hands on his forehead, closed her eyes, and waited for the colors. Nothing. She tried again. Her hands shook. Sweat rolled down her face. The sight that once came as naturally as breathing was gone. That night, she wept into her pillow so Kofi wouldn't hear. She wept for the grandmother she hadn't seen in over a year. She wept for the woman she used to be. And somewhere deep inside, a terrifying question formed: had she traded her calling for a beautiful prison? If you've ever felt like you lost a piece of yourself in a relationship, type "I understand" in the comments. You're not alone. 5 years passed. Morayo looked in the mirror and saw a stranger. Same face. Same hands. But the light behind her eyes had gone out. 3 children now: Amara, Teo, and baby F. Her days bled into feeding, cleaning, managing house staff, attending social events where wealthy wives smiled with their mouths but never their eyes. Kofi traveled constantly. When home, he was either buried in his phone or entertaining business partners until midnight. The conversations about her dreams, her healing center, her future, all dead. One evening, she tried again. "The children are older now," she said quietly across the dinner table. "Maybe I could learn again. Visit Mama Adoni." Kofi didn't look up. Visit for what? To reconnect. "I feel like I've lost something important." Now he looked at her. Eyes cold as river stones. "You have 3 children. A house. A husband who provides everything." He set down his fork. "What exactly have you lost?" Morayo opened her mouth. Morayo opened her mouth. No words came. What had she lost? Herself. But how do you explain that to someone who only sees the packaging and never the gift inside? That night, she dreamed of Mama Adoni standing at a river's edge, calling her name. Every time Morayo tried to cross, the water rose higher, swallowing her ankles, her knees, her waist. She woke gasping. The ceiling fan spun above her. Kofi snored beside her. And for the first time, she wondered if she would drown in this life before anyone noticed she was sinking. But the ancestors were not finished with her. Because the gift hadn't died. It had simply moved to someone she never expected. Amara grew fast. By 14, she had her mother's eyes, her mother's stubbornness, and something else, something that stopped Morayo's heart the first time she noticed it. It happened after a family gathering. Guests had just left. Amara was helping clear plates when she paused and asked a strange question. "Mama, why does Uncle Doten have red around his stomach?" Morayo froze. "What do you mean, red?" "Like fire. Trapped inside." Amara shrugged. "It doesn't look right." 2 weeks later, Uncle Doten collapsed. Doctors found a stomach ulcer that had nearly turned cancerous. That night, Morayo sat on her bed, trembling. The gift hadn't died. It had transferred to her daughter. But Amara was untrained. Unprotected. If she didn't learn to control it, the weight of other people's pain would crush her. Morayo knew what she had to do. She told Kofi she needed to take Amara to visit Mama Adoni. Just for a few weeks. To learn the old ways. His reaction shattered something inside her. Absolutely not. His voice turned to ice. I will not have my daughter learning village witchcraft. It's not witchcraft. It's healing. It's our lineage. Your lineage. He stepped closer, towering over her. Not mine. Not hers. She will study real medicine. In London. Like a civilized person. Something inside Morayo snapped. For the first time in 15 years, she raised her voice. Snapped. For the first time in 15 years, she raised her voice. Who are you to decide what she becomes? Who are you to decide what I become? Kofi's eyes went dark. And in that moment, Morayo saw something she had never seen before. A shadow. Black as midnight. Wrapping around him like a second skin. Her sight had returned. And what it showed her was terrifying. The man she married was not what he appeared to be. The truth didn't come all at once. It came in pieces. Like broken glass slowly pressed into her skin. Now that Morayo could see again, she watched Kofi carefully. The phone calls taken in whispers. The business trips that stretched for weeks. The money that flowed endlessly but never had a clear source. Then came the night that changed everything. Kofi left his briefcase unlocked. Something he never did. Morayo's hands shook as she opened it. Inside, she found bank statements with numbers that made her dizzy. Letters addressed to names she didn't recognize. And a photograph. Another woman. Smiling. Holding a baby. A baby that looked exactly like Theo. The briefcase slipped from her fingers and crashed to the floor. Kofi appeared in the doorway. When he saw what she had found, his entire face changed. The charm vanished. The warmth disappeared. What remained was cold. Empty. Hollow. You should have stayed in your place, he said quietly. You were never supposed to find this. Who is she? Morayo's voice cracked. None of your concern. And the child. Kofi smiled. A smile that held no love. No guilt. Nothing human. There's more than one. He tilted his head. Did you think you were special, Morayo? You were convenient. A village healer with a good reputation. Perfect for my image. He stepped closer. But you stopped being useful the moment you stopped being grateful. The words hit like fist. But something else happened in that moment. Morayo's vision exploded. Colors everywhere. Shadows riding around Kofi like snakes. Every lie. Every betrayal. Every hidden truth, she could see them all. Her gift hadn't just returned. It had evolved. And now she saw exactly who she had given 16 years of her life to. A man with no heart. No soul. No conscience. That night, lying beside him in the dark, Morayo made a decision. She wasn't going to argue. She wasn't going to beg. She was going to escape. She was going to escape. If you've ever discovered something that completely changed how you saw someone, drop a fire in the comments. This story is just getting started. Morayo left 3 days later. She didn't announce it. Didn't fight. Didn't pack anything precious. She waited until Kofi left for another business trip. Then she moved like smoke through the house. One bag for herself. One for each child. Nothing more. The children ask no questions. Children always know when their mother is saving them. The penthouse door closed behind her with a soft click. She didn't look back. The bus ride from Lagos to Ogun took 6 hours. 6 hours of baby F sleeping against her chest. 6 hours of Theo asking if they were visiting grandma. 6 hours of Amora staring out the window, seeing things only she could see. With every mile, the city fell away. Glass towers became trees. Concrete became earth. The air changed from exhaust fumes to wood smoke and rain. When the compound came into view, Maria's chest cracked open. Her mother stood at the gate, waiting, as if she had known. Ayabo ran forward, tears streaming down her face. No questions. No judgment. Just open arms. Bobaton appeared next. He said nothing. Just lifted his grandchildren one by one, held them close, then pulled Morayo into an embrace that made her feel 7 years old again. But it was Mama Adoni who broke her completely. The old woman sat in her chair, 92 years old, frail as paper, sharp as lightning. "The prodigal healer returns," she said softly. Morayo fell to her knees. "I lost the gift, Mama. For years, I lost it." Mama Adoni's weathered hand touched her head. "No, child. You buried it to survive. Sometimes we must hide our light to get through the darkness." She smiled. "But the darkness has passed now." The peace lasted exactly 1 week. Then Kofi discovered she was gone. The assault began immediately. Lawyers arrived in the village with threatening letters. Phone calls demanding she return. Messages that switched between sweet promises and vicious threats. "He's trying to take the children," her father said, reading the latest document. But Morayo had something Kofi couldn't buy or bully. Community. The village remembered her. The woman whose infertility she'd cured, now a mother of 4, spoke first. The man whose shame she'd healed stood up next. One by one, they testified. "This woman saved my life. She brought my child back from death's door. She is ours. We protect what is ours." The village council convened. Lawyers from the city, men who owed her father old favors, stepped forward. Slowly, the legal tide turned. Her father owed favors, stepped forward. Slowly, the legal tide turned. Meanwhile, Morayo began healing again. First, just neighbors. A child with fever. An elder with joint pain. Simple things. But word spread like wildfire. The healer had returned. And her gift was stronger than ever. She could see everything now, not just sickness, but lies, fears, hidden truths. Colors danced around people like living stories. Amara trained beside her, learning the songs, memorizing the herbs, understanding the weight of the gift. "Why did we leave Papa?" Amara asked one evening. Morayo looked at her daughter, this mirror of herself, and spoke the truth. "Because love that makes you disappear isn't love. It's ownership." Weeks passed. Months. Morayo grew stronger. The children grew happier. Then one morning, a black car appeared on the village road. Kofi had come himself. This is about standing up for yourself. If you believe every woman deserves to reclaim her power, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's build a community that lifts each other up. The black Mercedes stopped at the compound gate. Kofi stepped out. Expensive shoes. Tailored suit. Sunglasses that cost more than most people's yearly income. He looked completely out of place. And he knew it. The villagers watched from doorways. Children stopped playing. Even the chickens went quiet. Morayo was in the healing hut, grinding herbs. She heard the car. She heard the whispers. She didn't stop walking. Her hands remained steady. Kofi filled the doorway, blocking the light. "Come home," he said. No greeting. No emotion. Just an order. "I am home." Morayo didn't look up. "This." He laughed, sharp and bitter. He waved at the simple walls, the hanging herbs, the clay pots. "This is nothing. You're playing village doctor while I offer you the world." Finally, Morayo raised her eyes. For the first time in 16 years, she truly saw him. Not with fear. Not with hope. Just clarity. You gave me nothing, she said quietly. You took. For 16 years, you took everything I was and called it love. She stood, still holding the grinding stone. But love doesn't diminish. Love doesn't silence. Love doesn't steal your sight and call it protection. Kofi's face twisted. You ungrateful. Love, Morayo continued, her voice growing stronger, doesn't tell you that your gift is witchcraft. Love doesn't hide other families. Love doesn't say you stopped being useful. Each word landed like thunder. Kofi stepped forward, his hand rising. And stopped. 3 village elders stood behind him. Then 6. Then 12. Then the entire village, filling the courtyard. Silent. Watching. Waiting. Old Baba Shola spoke. His voice carried the weight of 70 harvests. Leave. Do not return. Kofi looked around. Calculated. For once in his life, he had no power. No leverage. No move. He turned without a word. The Mercedes disappeared down the dusty road. And Morayo returned to her grinding. Steady hands. Clear sight. Free soul. Finally. Free. Years passed. Morayo became more than a healer. She became a beacon. Women started arriving at her door, not for physical ailments, but for something deeper. Women who had forgotten their own names. Women whose dreams had been buried under, "You should be grateful." Women who had traded themselves for security and found only emptiness. She told them her story. All of it. The gift. The seduction. The slow disappearance. The awakening. The escape. The rebuilding. She never judged. Never preached. Just shared. Amora, now grown, walked beside her. The gift strong. The lineage secured. One evening, a young woman sat crying in the healing hut. 24 years old. 3 children. Dead eyes. I don't know who I am anymore, she whispered. Morayo held her hands. I know. I was you. She spoke the words Mama Adoni, now resting with the ancestors, had given her. A healer who forgets herself becomes the sickest of all. But here's what my grandmother didn't tell me, it's never too late to remember. Never too late to heal. She looked into the woman's eyes. Sometimes the longest journey back to yourself is the one that teaches you who you truly are. You were not made to disappear. You were made to shine. Journey back to yourself is the one that teaches you who you truly are. You were not made to disappear. You were made to shine. The woman wept. Then smiled. Then stood a little taller. Another soul remembering itself. Another light refusing to die. If this story touched something in you, if any part of Morayo's journey felt familiar, do 3 things right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Tales by Tina. And share this with someone who might be disappearing. You were made to shine. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise.